All right, what's up, guys? I'm Connor Ferguson here with the Always Race Day post-race show. We're going to try to do a lot of these, especially during the midweek races this season with the dueling, pair of national sprint car tours that are out there. I'm here with Glenn Saville. We'll be joined by him in a second. I want to give people a little bit of time to get into this broadcast, but obviously Corey Day with an impressive second straight high limit series win. So really good start to the season for him. We'll talk about all that right here on the Always Race Day post race show. I'll get there eventually. We'll figure this out. But once again, presented by the fine people at the Carl Group. Thanks to them. If you're looking for a car, if you're looking for something to get you from point A to point B, look no further than the Carl Group. They are fantastic people. They will get you on the road, and they will keep you on the road right down there. Call them, mention us, let us know that you came by because we told you to do so. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. All right, Glenn. I'm joined by our biggest sprint car driver name brand in the business. He is the most popular driver that we have on our shows, just by our listeners alone. Glenn, I need your impact. I need your input.
My input? It was a good race to watch. Definitely, the fans can't complain. The high limit guys seem to be putting on good racing, and they seem to be picking tracks that race well. So that's always a positive. You can do a lot to get fans in the stands, but if the racing sucks, then no one's going to turn up and no one's going to tune in. So they did a really good job. It's good to watch.
You're absolutely right. Whether you're listening for my bad takes or Glenn's amazingly sexy accent,
even worse takes.
Leave us a comment. Ask us your questions as we go. We'll see all of them line up here right on the right column here. So leave us whatever question you have about tonight's race. Corey Day obviously takes the win. But Glenn, you mentioned tracks that each series is going to. And I got to say, I think there was a lot of tracks that I don't know. And I'm not necessarily saying this about Red Dirt Raceway whatsoever. But there are some tracks on both schedules that I think you and me would agree if it was one national series, they wouldn't go to those tracks. So when you go to these tracks that are kind of unfamiliar with sprint car racing, unfamiliar with 410 national, big professional sprint car racing, it's easy to find a track that doesn't suit it or a track that might produce a snoozer. But I thought tonight, Red Dirt really performed. I was really impressed with what I saw out of the facility.
Yeah, definitely. It's performed before in other levels of racing with a bit of USAC stuff and local sprint car racing. So I think the locals knew that the place was a good track to go to. It's then just down to the promotional team and the guys preparing it to make it work on a national level, and I think they did that tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's right down there by Chili Bowl country. I hope those fans, the fans of the Chili Bowl, that, every track goes, you and I both know this, every track goes down to the Chili Bowl and kind of markets to those people, come to this big event, come to our show, come to this, come to that. And I feel like they kind of get deprived of the bigger stuff, if that makes sense. I know they got Port City down there. I know Shane Stewart is a massive part of dirt racing in Oklahoma, and growing that even to what it is now is a really big feat. But obviously tonight, big chapter in growing dirt racing in Oklahoma, having a 20 grand race to win on a Tuesday.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Shane's, been pretty good with bringing it back to that local scene. But, traditionally Oklahoma's had quite a few competitors come from there that have made it on the national level. Brady Bacon, Darren Pittman, I guess, go back to Andy Hillenberg and the Berry Hills and all that. And Blake Hahn on the ASCS stuff. The area's definitely got a lot of talent, and it's kind of a shame to deprive the fans for as long as they have. But at the same time, you've got to have facilities that are willing to do it and all that sort of thing. So if they've now got the resources to do it, yeah, go for it. It's definitely going to raise the sport and bring it to new eyes on a local level, which is good for it. I think definitely.
For sure. And then we're seven races, 7 rounds into the High Limit Championship, the inaugural year-long title chase. And Corey Day has now gotten 2 of them back-to-back and also leads the Midweek Money Series points, obviously. 10 race series, maybe 11.
Yep.
Obviously, rainouts are going to screw with that number either way. I was putting the schedule in to always race day to day. But I mean, man, what a tear this kid's on early in the year. It's a big momentum point to start the year off like a young gun like Corey Day has to be a national championship contender at 18 years old. Yeah,
definitely. I think Jason Myers has put his old Outlaw team back together by the sounds of it, and they're going back to exactly what they were, and back when they're all together, and everything's clicking, and they've got a kid that's obviously got his head screwed on, and they're telling him what he needs to do, and he's obviously performing on the track. So I think he's going to be one to watch, and if he obviously stays in sprint car racing, he'll definitely have a bright future. So it's good. It's definitely good for the sport. So
yeah, absolutely. And you talk about putting that team together. It was the one team that beat Donnie Schatz in that big run that he had. That Donnie Schatz won everything. He won every Knoxville Nationals. He won every World of LS championship until there was an upset. And Tim Schaefer got him at the Knoxville Nationals in I think 2010. And I think the year after was when Jason won his title. He might have won 2009 as well. That might have been his second title. But you talk about how great that team was to be able to beat Donnie Schatz in that season.
Yeah.
How dangerous is this combo with Corey Day driving the car and, being 18 and only getting better from here?
I think they've definitely got a lot of potential. It's like I said, if they can keep clicking, and they obviously proved themselves on the local level with the success they had last year, and then being able to beat the Outlaws, that's definitely a big thing. But there's a lot of people that could say, oh, it's just a fluke because it was a track he did plenty of laps at. But he's now come out on the road and seems to be sticking it to the big guys. And I think there was a lot of predictions at the start of the season, about certain ones being able to dominate this series, and so far it seems pretty open to me. Like there's no real sort of clear-cut defined winner in any race. They're all racing for position. I think at one stage there they were showing 4 wide, and it was 23 laps into the race, so they're all getting into it, and it's definitely good to watch. It's entertaining, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tyler Courtney and Brent Marks rounded out the podium tonight. Parker Price Miller, Justin Peck taking the top 5, the 4th and 5th positions, I should say. And then Kyle Larson and Rico Abreu kind of got into it there a little bit. It sounded like there was some retaliation in that. It seems all around this series, and we got a lot of guys on this tour right now that want to win very badly, very competitive drivers, and obviously competing for those top 5 spots in the standings to secure, the charters that High Limit says that it will bring in 2026. Do you think that obviously they play a part into it, but do you think all these competitive guys on the same tracks against each other is starting to get to them a little bit?
Not really. I think they're all just going for it. They're doing what they're paid to do, and it looks to me like they're just raising the bar a little bit more with their aggressiveness, and it wasn't just Kyle and Rico. It was, if you watch back through the field, and like heck, even Cole Macedo was racing the leaders there at one point, because they were all just they're all fighting for position, and especially on those little bull rings, it's a lot easier to fight for position when there's just no space on the track in the first place. That track was fairly wide, but at the same time, it's not a long track, so you don't really get spread out. You get on top of each other pretty quick. So
I'm at the most. I would tell you guys that Glenn is the most off the cuff, like genuine dude, like most honest person, even on the air, even when he pretends that he's going to button it up real quick. I've never seen him button it up. Sorry, I'll get words at some point tonight. More so in the fact that when you said even Cole Macedo is racing the leaders. I think Cole Macedo races everybody tough when the challenge presents itself. No offense to Cole. I love Cole. I love Carson. Fantastic people. But I can't believe you said even Cole Macedo was racing the leaders.
Well, I'm just commenting on what I see.
What do you think of Casey Kane tonight? I'm buds with Casey, like Casey.
He did good.
I like everybody equally. I wish everyone else had a Casey Kane Friday video that I could post every time they did anything good. I just love how stupid that video is. That's why I post it every time he succeeds. What did you think of his really fast qualifying run? It looked like he had a lot of speed, and it ran out in the A. Obviously, still looking for his national win, but
I think he did really well. Like
it's tough because you gotta go for it, full bore, and then risk wrecking, and you gotta be willing to do that 6-7 times.
At the end of the day, I think Casey's at a point where he's enjoying what he's doing, and whether it's win, lose, or draw, he's still out there racing. He loves. There's nothing more exhilarating, I guess is the word. I can't say bad. Is a badass is how you Americans pronounce it. It sounds terrible when I say it.
It's pretty close.
I sound terrible when I try and say it because it just doesn't work with my accent, so I don't say it. But driving a sprint car is one of the most exhilarating things there is, and he is really doing a good job, especially when he's racing against guys that they're racing for lunch money. They're every position counts to them, and their bottom line. And he's holding his own. I'm not going to say he has gotten a lot better since he got back into it, and he's doing I think he's doing a good job. So he's not being a rat bag, I suppose. He's not getting in the way and trying to race the leaders or anything like that. He's putting it in where he has to, and just keeping his nose clean, which it's good to see. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we'll get off of here in a real quick second. Please leave. If you got a question, leave it now. I don't want to keep Glenn too long. He was nice enough to do this with me, so I didn't have to do it alone. And everybody give a shout out to Glenn, and then go buy his t-shirts the one day he shows up at Knoxville.
I'm good.
In 2024. Real quick, what's your 2024 plans? Are we going to see you?
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be around. I've got one car ready. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. It's too cold this weekend to race, so I plan on going somewhere, but it's going to be too cold. So I'm good.
You coming down? Or are you going to come over?
Where to?
Come to Knoxville and then come to my apartment after. We have early start night.
I don't know. It's going to be cold. They even announced it tonight. What?
You're from Australia. You're tough.
I'm good. I've got a heater here and a furnace, and
I'm glad we got a heater in here.
My shop's nice and warm. I'm good.
We got a heater in here.
I honestly don't know. I still got other stuff I got to get ready, and I'm happy just to keep working. I'm kind of trying to get rid of all the junk in my shop at the moment. So it's it's all systems go at the moment, and I don't know. Come May, I don't know. I might race. I might not. Who knows? You'll see me when you're looking at me. How's that sound?
He keeps me guessing. I tell him like, hey, just let me know ahead of time so I can like promote you a little bit. Let me give you a little extra shout out here. And he's like,
Nothing worth promoting.
2 hours before hot laps. It's like, you want to drive 6 hours? You probably be there by the A-main. I'm racing over here. No, but Tyler Courtney still has the points lead for High Limit. Points have been updated. He's got 476. Big lead. I shouldn't say big twice. What I'm trying to say is it's a surmountable lead between first and second, between second and third. He's got 476. Brad Sweet is sitting at 443, and Corey Day has moved into third at 438. Just really getting this down to, I should actually say, Brent Marks has 435. And then I want to point out Jacob Allen is fifth in High Limits points right now at 396. And what a year it would be for, obviously, it's too early. It is not very much through the season, but what a year it would be for Shark Racing if Jacob Allen could secure one of those top 5 positions.
Man, it'd be awesome. If Gio could turn up and help him put some front ends back together and hit the front end in the car, he'd be set.
Glenn's
always race day. Always race day podcast. Always race day podcast. Shout out there. Go Gio.
Sticking up for our guy over the host of Selzy Says. That's what I'm talking about. I can't believe you took the Corey Day situation like you did.
What?
And then went this way with this one. That's
I'm
good.
a professional.
No, we're company people here at Always
That's
Racing.
right.
Glenn,
I'm trying to be professional.
Family.
I haven't used any profanity. I've used no profanity whatsoever. I'm doing really well. It's a great podcast.
You've never said any bad words on our shows.
Never.
Oh man. But no, aside from Jacob and all the other contenders that are in High Limit, like Anthony Macri, Spencer Baston, Rico Abreu, Parker Price Miller, and Zeb Wise. That's the rest of your top 10 in points. You can look them up if you'd like. We're not sophisticated enough to have a little graphic come up next to the screen here. Maybe someday. That's a long distant hope.
I just thought you could do a graphic of the top 5. Just write them on the backs of your fingers, just there, and like do that.
That'd be a funny bit.
Right there.
No, let's do that.
There.
We'll do that next time. Yeah,
there you go. See
the Caleb Williams on the fingernails thing. We'll just write the numbers.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Hopefully they don't change. I guess we got 2 options. We could get the top 4 or 5.
There's your top 8 right there. There you go. That's the dash draw.
Oh man. At some point this year, we'll do that. I promise you. So far in the standings, Tyler Courtney, Brad Sweet, Corey Day, and Brent Marks have kind of broken off a little bit from the rest of the field. 39 points separate Brent Marks and Jacob Allen in the 4th and 5th positions. Do you see that as the big 4 going forward? Obviously, it's sprint car racing.
No.
Like, stuff changes. Okay, you're formidably on as good as all 4 of those dudes are. Especially. And the only leave around hey, we got to wait and see about this guy is the guy that's won the last 2 races in Corey Day. So as good as Tyler Courtney, Brad, Corey, and Brent are, you think that's going to change? That top 4 is not going to finish as the top 4?
I still think there's as hard as they're racing, and especially if they keep racing on a lot of these short tracks that no one's ever been to, consistency may come into it, and by that I mean those guys are always going to finish at the front if they finish. Just kind of watching the way guys are racing and all that. They're playing for keeps, and at that point it comes down to finishing races. But you'll get someone like Jacob who'll just keep. He had what would be considered a bad night, and he seemed to turn it around. It's too early in the season to be sort of thinking that, but those guys have obviously got a good start to it. But I think if a lot of them guys can stay consistent, they'll be fine. But watching the way them guys are racing through lap traffic and watching how the lappers are racing and all that sort of thing, it could genuinely mix it up, and it's kind of open from there, I suppose. So
how much on a scale of 1 to Talladega Nights first or last do you think they're going? Are they going full first or last?
I think they're all trying that. Yeah, you know, they're on TV. Look, Ma, no hands. You know, that's kind of the attitude that a lot of them are taking. So that's what it seems like. It's good to watch. It's, you know, I'd hate to be the car owners paying for front ends and wheels and front shocks and front axles and stuff like that. But, you know, that's part of it. So you don't race at that level if you don't expect to tear stuff up. So
I know you'd never be mad at me for asking, but you can't get mad at me for asking you last minute to be on these shows when you throw out quotes like that.
What do you mean?
Yeah, it's a good quote.
I was in the middle of honing one of my own blocks, to be honest. I got to go back and finish it once we get off here. So you never know. Once I get that motor together, I'll let you know, and I might even make it to the track with it. So.
Oh, hell yeah!
I might actually have a spare. That'd be nice.
I will put up money if they insist that you enter the track to the Stone Cold Steve Austin theme song.
I don't know what that is.
It's like the glass breaks. You don't know Stone Cold Steve Austin, the wrestler?
Dude, I'm not a wrestler. This isn't wrestling material.
I will show you sometime.
I'd answer to like Chemical Brothers Go, or
we could play an entrance song for you.
1812 Overture, maybe. How's that sound?
I've got to suggest the Knoxville people. I have it on good authority that they're taking some of my feedback.
There you go.
We're gonna try to get driver intro songs for. We'll see. I will do what I can to get
on the always race day night. We're going to have Connor Ferguson's playlist. How's that sound?
Hell, I mean, I'll just turn it over to you guys, and we're having driver intros. I'm a driver intros guy. Like, if you can play your own song and show a little bit of your personality, I mean, Glenn, you'd have to pick a song just in case you made the A-Main of the Knoxville Nationals.
Well, in that case, man, you know. I don't think we need to play a song.
No, this is what would happen. You would go, I have no chance of making the A-Main. I'd
pick the most random. Yeah. You know what I would pick then? My Pal Foot. You need to look that song up. You need to look that song up on YouTube. My Pal Foot, and then look up the backstory behind it then.
All right. If you're still watching this, the song was not bad enough for us to cut the last 2.5 minutes of the show. But if you are, I listened to it 2 days from this, and it was okay. And then I texted Glenn what I actually thought. So we'll see about that. Thank you to everyone that tuned in. Let your friends know about this. We're going to try to do it every High Limit World of Outlaws midweek series, and in some late model series races. We'll figure it out as the year goes on. And we'll be back with a new Dirt episode of the ARD podcast later this week. So thank you for staying tuned. It's been a tumultuous off season for me, and had some personal stuff with my family and some stuff go on the last couple months, but everything is good. We're back in a routine, and I can't wait to be at Knoxville on Saturday night with all my best friends. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thanks again to Glenn. Make sure to follow him. He's on Twitter. He doesn't want you to know that.
Thanks for scraping the bottom of the barrel on talent and calling me up.
It's the bottom, but it's the top for some people, right? Appreciate y'all for listening. Have a good rest of your week. We will see you next few days on the Always Race Day podcast. Thanks again, guys.